gonna really know how to like start or end videos.
We're gonna have absolutely zero idea.
Yeah, like episode 1, they hit play, and the first thing they hear will just be like, ah!
Well, what's funny is
I'm sorry, we don't have any idea how to start videos.
You know what's funny is that we've actually already started about a minute ago.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
no. Welcome to Ready Set Lag podcast episode 0.
Oh no.
Well, it's been a long time coming, Nicholas.
Yeah.
A long time. We've been thinking about this. We've been figuring out exactly how we wanted to start this kind of journey that we want to go on with reviews and news and covering the things that we think are very, very important, especially in the gaming scene that both of us have been in since we were wee babies,
little tykes,
little rolling around playing with Legos, even though I was doing that last week. So we're gonna start this episode off pretty easy, right? Checklist.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Number 1. Who are both of you? Do you want me to answer this, or do you want to answer it first?
Well, I mean, you can introduce yourself and talk about you real quick, and then I can just do me.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. Name's Jared, a.k.a. Extra Large Hot Dog. Been around the scene for a while. Been streaming for a while. Had a lot of very strong opinions about gaming and about everything that, revolves around Twitch streaming and being just a huge fan of games my entire life, and wanted to start something with my boy here, Nicholas, because we got pissed off, right? And we decided to start this journey a while ago. It's been, how long? It's been a couple months.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably been roughly 2 months.
Yeah, it's been 2 months into the in the works. There was a couple. We worked really, really hard on stuff, and then there was some downtime. Not because we didn't want to keep working on it, but because of scheduling and things that we had going on in our personal lives, we had to kind of put it to the side. And we had this whole launch deal planned with what we wanted to do, and plans don't always work out the way that you want them to.
No, never.
But I am Hot Dog, Jared, whichever way you want to call me. I've been gaming since I was, I was a kid, like I said, little baby.
Yeah.
My dad's the one that got me into playing games. Bought me a PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64, and all that kind of stuff. And I've been a fan. And then also when it comes to the entertainment side of streaming, I'm not gonna say I'm an expert, but I've been doing it for a long time. It's something I'm very, very passionate about. And people might like, why haven't you been streaming so much, and why have you been doing all these other things that you're used to? Is because we've been kind of working on this, and this is something that I believe in, and it's something that Nick believed in. And I said, I'll put all of the stuff that I want to do personally with streaming aside to start RSL and to try to see that through, because it's something that we believe in. So that's me, Nicholas.
Hi. I'm Nicholas. Hi. I'm Nicholas, known a little bit online as Intimidating Pancake. I got my start with video games, I want to say I was probably like 4 years old. My my parents, even way before I was born, bought like a Nintendo NES system for my half sisters, and they couldn't really get into it. So my parents just kind of started playing it, and then when I was about 4 years old, my mom just pulled out the NES and just introduced me to it. And the first game I ever played was Super Mario Brothers 3. That was my first exposure
Classic.
to video game. I had that. I had the Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt combo cartridge. Like so like I was very much a Nintendo boy when I was younger. But yeah, like that was my first exposure to it, and I have come a long way since then. Um, just I've had a love and appreciation for this industry for basically my entire life. Um, I've got a real love for video games and passion for it. I'm a gamer through and through, with a particular love for uh, single player story games. Those are my absolute favorite. I love a good narrative, good characters, stuff like that.
Talking about the extinct variety of gaming.
Yeah, well, the game that the game genre that some companies would say is dying, but is absolutely still alive and thriving. In fact,
All right, well, that leads us into number 2. Why did you guys start Ready Set Lag? I started the first one, so I'll let you take this one.
okay. Well, it's just like as much as we love the gaming industry and what it has brought us, it's broken my heart to see where a lot of it has ended up, and it feels like it is an industry that is starting to become devoid of like love and passion, um and it's become more of like uh something of greed, like just though like what decisions can we make to profit the most, not like, oh, what can we do to make this game amazing. And then you have people who are getting into the industry who are specifically like, you'll have like journalists who are more activists and let their own personal like biases and feelings kind of get in the way of how they feel about like games and stuff. So it's like it's and you've got like other companies that will uh take money to give a game like better reviews than they honestly deserve. So I feel like um really like we one of the big reasons of why we've started something like this is because we want uh gamers to be the ones who are running the gaming industry. We want people everyday, like people like us, who absolutely uh live and breathe video games, to be a part of this. And um we want it to not just, be successful, but we like, I mean, like really thrive. We want to inspire other people who love video games and who appreciate and play them like we do, to become part of it as well. So
Yeah. For me, what, the funniest part about RSL coming together was the fact that, we talked about something. I'm not gonna say we've had the idea in the past, because I mean, we've had stuff like it in the past that we've talked about. But the funny part is I remember I was driving to work and you called me and you said, "Hey, why don't we start being the ones who review these games and who talk about the news of video games, because I feel like people aren't being honest." And what was funny about that conversation was I literally had the same idea. I was thinking about it. I was like, because the reason I wanted to start Ready Set Lag is honestly through frustration, right? Like I started to get upset. I started to get mad at the companies who were they were lying to everybody. They were saying like, "Hey, this game is great. The money that you worked hard for, you should spend it on this game because it's great." And then you buy it and then it's trash. And or the big thing right now is companies releasing games that are so far from being done, and the mindset of we'll patch it later. And it's like, no, like I spent my money on this game, and because X company told me that it was good, and they lied, right? Like
mhm.
I hate that, and I know it's because a lot of these people they're not gamers. They don't know what a gamer likes or a gamer wants in a game. That doesn't mean that we know what every gamer wants and what every gamer will like, but at least we're the gamers, right? Like we're the
Right.
ones that are staying up to play these games because we love them so much and because we've got such a passion for them. And so instead of it being journalists who then decide to cover games, we're going the other way. Like, we're gamers who said, you know what, we're tired of these companies, so we're gamers, and now we're going to become the gaming journalists, right? I have absolutely no experience being a journalist and no experience of covering things the way that most people who might look up a game review are used to seeing things, right? Like, I definitely have a raw emotional response to things when I think that they are broken and I don't like them. I definitely am somebody who would post something and just be like, this game is trash, this company's trash. And so I do have to reel that in a little bit. I've got to look at things in the broader picture, the broader scheme of gaming. But the reason we both decided to start this is we don't want to lie. We don't want to say that something's worth your time and it's not. And that is why Ready Set Lag started. We don't want to be lied to anymore, But leads on to the next question. When can we expect what can we expect with the Ready Set Lag podcast and reviews? So you answered the last one and I'll answer this one. We're not gonna lie. That's what you can expect from our reviews and our podcast. Is we're going to do our best to put our biases aside, because everybody has them, and just tell you whether or not the package as a whole of a video game is worth your money and it's worth your time, right? And with the podcast, we it's another question later on that I'll speak more in depth. But the podcast is going to kind of be everything, right? So it's going to be about the news we want to talk about, and then when a game comes out and we play it, we're going to put the review in there. There's going to be, this podcast is going to be for everybody, right? For gamers in general and people who want to be up to date on the news of gaming and who want to know whether or not a game is worth your time. That's what you can expect from our podcast and our review, and then from our website whenever we which it's up, but whenever we get to where we're updating it, you can go over there for kind of the Cliff Notes version on whether or not a game is worth it. Nicholas, anything to add on that?
I think you pretty much covered it all. It's just I do want to reiterate that, like, when we were coming up with Ready Set Lag, we kept talking about like how we want to make our emphasis integrity. Like, we want to have an emphasis on. So like, if we like, I don't know, like, give a review that we're like later like, okay,
wait, hold
maybe
on. Stop. This leads into the next question.
Oh, okay.
How do we know that you will be honest? Take it away.
Okay. So I guess like the big thing is like, we really don't have any sort of like connection. Well, again, like, so these questions are like connected with other questions.
Go ahead. It's 4 and 5. The fifth question is, how do you guys have any ties with gaming? We do have ties with communities, with groups of people who love gaming, who love streaming, who love content creation. That I will say we do, especially from me, from streaming for the years that I've streamed. I've got a lot of friends who do the same thing. But when it comes to studios, I'll let Nicholas answer that question.
All right. So as far as like us having any kind of like commitment to any sort of like studio or business or anything, we don't. The only kinds of like connections that we will want to make are we're going to want to make like sources and have like sources of information of people in studios to help report like what's going on in the industry. But as far as like making deals with anybody or like taking any kind of payment for a favorable review or something like that, absolutely not. We will never do something like that. That's part of what's gonna like that's part of it's gonna be part of Ready Set Lag. You know,
That's
it's
part of why we started it, is because we're
yeah,
tired of companies doing that.
right.
And
Um,
also, with the back to the how do we know that you guys will be honest, is honesty and integrity doesn't mean that you're not going to be wrong, right?
right,
You can be wrong. We can report something and get it and completely miss it, right? Completely miss uh whatever was going on, or we might quote something wrong, or uh like be talking about an article that comes out to be false. And I think the honesty part of that is that we will own up to the fact that we got that wrong, right? Like,
right.
it's not you're expected to be right about everything, because if we're I expect with the podcast and with the news and everything we're covering, we're going to be getting a lot of information, and we're going to be trying to talk about a lot of information to get it into people's ears. We're going to miss something, or we're going to remember something wrong. Like, we're going to try our best to not do that. But when it inevitably happens, check
'Cause we're human.
because we're people. Check the Twitter page, check the Instagram. Like, we right when we find out something is wrong, like, we're going to say, like, hey, like, we missed this one, our bad. Try to
Right.
do better. Right. That's
Well,
the
yeah.
big thing.
And we'll definitely like learn from like our mistakes that we make, and I would hope that the kind of people that will follow us and like our viewers and stuff will hold us to the same standards that we're going to try to hold ourselves to.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, if we're completely off base with something and we're doubling down on it, like, you let us know, right? Tell
Call
us,
us
be like,
out.
be like, hey, this is wrong. And I know myself, and I know Nicholas, and I know that we would be the first people to investigate that further, and to be like, oh no, we did get this wrong. And then answering my opinion about do you guys have any ties? I fully expect studios to hate us. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Like, if studios hate us, it means that we're doing something right, right? And this is not to attack, when we talk about a game, or we talk about a studio, this is not to go after the devs that work really, really hard on a game, or the devs that got crunched so hard to make a deadline for a game. It's not that, right? But you can't not talk about it when a game is garbage, right? Or when they lie. Like, you have to cover that stuff. And so that's what we want. That's what we're going for, and that's what we're trying to do. But I fully expect us to never get review copies for games. Fully expect us to not get invited to anything, because we're going after it, and it's going to be. I just hope that enough gamers kind of tune into this and realize, like, all the stuff that's going on, and my vision for, well, actually, we'll get into that. Get into that here a little bit later, but when can we expect constant content, news, and reviews, Nicholas?
Wait, hold on. Did I answer the last one, or did you answer the last one?
Oh no, you answered the last one, didn't you?
Yeah.
So constant content, I will say that the podcast is probably going to be, and this kind of ties into the last question with the studio stuff, where we don't have ties. We don't know anybody in the gaming industry in terms of like studios. So, the podcasts are going to be definitely a weekly thing. Like, we're going to be really, really trying hard to pump these podcasts out, especially when something that needs to be talked about comes out. Like, I expect us to be, posting something about it. But the reviews and stuff like that, since we're not getting early copies of games, that stuff is going to be, I don't want to put a time on when those reviews are going to be coming out. And I know that when a game comes out and you really, really want to buy it, that's why I feel like so many people trust these other companies that get sent review copies 2 weeks early, so they can post those reviews as soon as they get them, or as soon as they finish those games, and they're finishing them weeks early. But we're gonna try our best. We're gonna hunker down, and we're gonna play the games, and we might not be able to play everything in a game, but we can definitely beat the main story, get a feel for the game, and then post our reviews. But the podcast is definitely going to be something that you can look forward to every single week. but the reviews and stuff like that is we don't really have a time. Like a game comes out and we've got X amount of time to post a review. Like we're gonna really get our opinions and our thoughts together before we post it online.
Oh, I mean, I feel like that just pretty much covers it.
Yeah, that's the
yeah, like we're gonna pump out content as much as we can without sacrificing like quality.
Yeah, without trying to actually, I don't want to post a review about a game, a game that takes 50 hours to beat and we played it for 10 and we decide to post a video on it. Like you got to give a game a fair shake, and
especially if we're not really expecting to get any kind of like review copies or anything like that.
Unless we start playing a game and it's so busted out that we don't even want to finish it, right? And like we post that, because that's definitely going to happen. So next question is, how often will the podcast come out and where can we find it? So as of right now, YouTube will definitely be posting the podcast on YouTube, and we will be on Spotify, all the places you can find podcasts. That's like kind of the next step, is we wanted to get this first episode recorded and definitely get it uploaded to all these sites, and that's where you can expect to find it. But definitely YouTube. So definitely check the YouTube page every week, and it'll be out there. And now this is the big question. Next two, right? Mm-hmm. Will you guys ever expand the scope of Ready, Set, Lag? Nicholas, go ahead.
Absolutely. I really want this to be like a really big thing. Like I'm seeing Ready, Set, Lag as a sort like I see it as sort of like Game Informer or like IGN, but like specifically run by like your average gamer, like people who are like really passionate about it and everything. I really want to put all of my energy and time and money into making it as big and thriving and as successful as possible.
Yeah.
I'm willing to put in the time, the money, the effort, all of it. So yes, I definitely see Ready, Set, Lag growing into something more.
Yeah, and I think it's important to talk about, like, this is this actually isn't the way necessarily that we wanted to start Ready, Set, Lag, right? Like we had these big, we still have, like, there's still plans for us that we want to get to, but we wanted to have a bunch of different segments. We want to have a bunch of different, like, we want to have just a show for news, just the reviews posting out, the websites. We wanted to do anime, we wanted to do manga, or manga, or however you want to say it. It's definitely manga, but we wanted to do all of that, but it's just two of us, right? So we had to kind of shrink down kind of the operations and the scope of Ready, Set, Lag, because we are so passionate about it that we could have me and Nick can sit on the phone and talk for 8 hours about what we want Ready, Set, Lag, and we get really, really excited. And then that's the overwhelming part of trying to start something like this, is that you think too hard on things rather than just, you got to get started. You got to start doing something. And then, I said, well, why don't we just start with the podcast and just really start going at that, while also working on our reviews and posting the reviews. Like we'll talk about the reviews in the podcast, but we'll also be posting videos on those reviews. And then, eventually live streaming on Twitch all of our reviews, or as we play through the games that we're reviewing. There's a lot of things that we're working on, that we're working towards. But you got to start somewhere, and I want everybody to know too, with us, is that we're just two people that's never done this before, but we're gonna learn, and we're gonna keep going, and we're gonna keep trying. We're gonna get really, really good at it. That's the scope, right? Scope Absolutely. Is we're gonna kill it. We're gonna do our absolute best. And then the final question, episode 0, Ready, Set, Lag podcast. Where do you see RSL in 10 years? That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
I see Ready Set Lag being the company that every gamer looks to before they buy a game, right? Like that's what I expect people sitting around playing, playing a game that's already come out and then, getting hyped up about a trailer that dropped and, the one guy in that Discord call or that the party chat saying, I'm going to wait and see what RSL says about it first. Like that, whenever I hear the first time that somebody says that, like I'm gonna lose my mind. That's like that. That's gonna be like, oh, we made it, right? Like this is we got there. Is when somebody says I'm gonna wait for Ready Set Lag.
Yeah, I share that vision with you of where we're gonna be. Like, me personally, I would really love to see like in a trailer before a big game drops. Uh, all those platforms that give it their ratings. Like like IGN 8 out of 10. Like this gives it like a 9 out of 10, and then Ready Set Lag is up there with them.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
and then obviously the expansion of this too. Like we don't want to just be doing a podcast, right? Like there's a million other things that we want to do.
yeah, I definitely I would love to see like like our viewers and everything like also kind of be a part of this. Like if we're going somewhere to like I don't know, like E3 to go like interview somebody, I would love to like take questions from our viewers and like have their questions answered. I really want it to be not just like our company, but like I want it to be a community. I want I want RSL to be a symbol, like a flag that the gaming community can rally around and really depend on.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely like I we've talked about this before. I don't expect us to get invited to a lot of these events because I expect them to hate us, and the fact that we're gonna try our best to not let companies slide with what they've been getting away with, and we really we draw a lot of inspiration from some of the people online that are already doing it, but you don't start something thinking that people are already doing it. We thought this when we were thinking about Ready Set Lag, and we were thinking about what we wanted to do. It's we could do it better, right? Like, or we could do it different enough that we can grow from this. There's a lot of things that, like I said, we draw a lot of inspiration from Angry Joe and all these people that we've watched forever. I've watched them for as long as I can remember, thinking about waiting for them to talk about a game and then having them save me a lot of money. And that's what I see in 10 years is I see us being right up there with all these other companies and bigger than they are, where I want to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that about wraps it up for episode 0. We should be, well, you guys don't even know what day we're recording this. We should be recording more episodes, like episode 1, talking about good old Dying Light 2 and all the other news that's going around in the gaming world. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, and I can't wait to be back on here talking about what we just talked about, but a little more in depth, because we're gonna piece things. We're gonna have a show. We're gonna have different topics that we're gonna delve into for a little bit longer than we did with this. But we just wanted you guys to get to know us, get to know what to expect from us, and yeah, Nicholas, anything to add?
Appreciate you guys tuning in and really listening to us. This is the start of something beautiful. Like we're planning our roots. This is our this is the beginning of our hero's journey, and I really, anyone listening, really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do that for us. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to what the future will hold for us. Big things, hopefully.
Big things in
Um,
store.
yeah, lots of awesome things to come in the future, and I can't wait to help build that future. So thank you again. And I love you. I love you all.
I
Is that
love
a little
you
too
all.
strong? Am I
I
going
love
on a
you
little
all
too
so
strong?
much more. Okay, bye.